Welcome to another mini video from 2dgameartguru.com. Today I'm working in Affinity Designer to show you how to create a torn paper effect. I'm trying to use vectors only, using either just a shape with a stroke and a pressure curve, or several shapes inside a clipping mask. Let's start with a rectangle. This is my sheet of paper. I go in with the pencil tool. The stabilizer is turned off. In this case, I want more nodes rather than less, and I squiggle a line across the screen. Make sure to move the mouse or the pen enough to create a line with enough nodes and variation. I make sure there are no loops or extreme clusters. Those should be fixed before you continue. I use the transform mode to select multiple nodes. In this case, I give them a skew to have a consistent direction. I use the node tool and the close curve. That way my line becomes a shape. I want to use the shape as part of a Boolean operation, which only works with shapes, not with lines. So I select my sheet and the new shape. I use the Boolean subtract to cut the top of my sheet, and then go in and create an outer shadow to make the effect more visible. I duplicate my shape, color the base white, and place the colored copy inside. By moving the colored copy, creating a little bit of an offset, the tail line becomes more visible. I don't like it to be an exact copy. In order to create some variation, I adjust the nodes of the child object inside the clipping mask using the transform mode on the nodes at the top. In order to have a different top and bottom line, I can even flip and then adjust the nodes to match to get a more uneven look. It's not a direct copy of the line above. I need to skew to match the direction. I fix the extremes, trying to make it look uneven but not stand out too much. Using a duplicate inside a clipping mask is a quick way to create a torn paper look. Let's start again with a slightly different approach. I use the pencil tool, draw my line. If you break your line, you can always turn on the sculpt mode, which allows you to continue the last line from where you left off. I create my shape, cut it from my base. I check for clusters of nodes, move those that are too tight together, make sure there's no loops, and then create a copy of my shape, delete the top and side lines, and assign a stroke to it. The stroke has a pressure curve which stretches along the length of my line. To make the pattern of the pressure curve more visible, I break the line in a few places. Once I increase the width of the stroke, you can see that the pressure curve adds to the unevenness of the line. I add another duplicate of the shape inside the clipping mask to increase the effect. Assign the stroke and the pressure curve to that line. Give it a slightly larger width than the initial white line. I just realized I did not turn the shadow effect off when I copied my shape. Even the strokes keep the shadow effect. Having a look at the layer panel every now and then does help. Rather than a shape, this version uses strokes and pressure curves to define the tail line. You can take it a step further by adding gradients and transparency to those lines. To create a more curved tail, I switch to version 2 of Affinity Designer and make use of the warp group. I assign an arc to the vector shape and use the node tool to make the curve even stronger. Once you have a warp group, you can convert it back to vector shapes, which I do in order to cut my curve from a new shape. This way I get my rounded tail. I just cut out the rounded curve. Wherever there's not enough nodes, I just use the shape again and cut out more until I'm happy with the amount of detail I have in my tail line. Instead of the arc, let's try a mesh for the warp group. It is ideal for creating nice flowing curves. But I can also take it to the extreme. I can easily transfer the tail to a cleaner rectangle. In this case, I use the intersect to create a new shape. Once you have an edge that looks nice, you can easily transfer parts of it to other sections of your design using the Boolean operations. Just remember to keep a copy of your base shape. The sheet needs to be duplicated before I cut it from the circle. I can then scale and alter the nodes of my object. I adjust sections of the edge to make it look uneven, transforming the nodes and skewing them. Just keep your output in mind. A lot of detail means a lot of work. Will it be visible in your final design, or will the nodes be so tight that you can't see the detail? This concludes my quick video on creating a tail line in a fast way. I used the pencil tool, the node tool, worked with clipping masks and Boolean operations to create a simple tail line. You can add more detail, work with textures. The options are endless. Just play around with it, have fun. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, click on the notification icon so you don't miss my next videos, and I will see you again soon.